Greg here with maritimegardening.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make banana bread. In our house, banana bread's a kind of staple snack that we make for the kids to take to school and that sort of thing. And it's a very useful way to use up bananas. You got bananas and you're waiting for them to be ripe, and then you wait a little bit too long and they're a little bit too ripe. So what do? Well, you throw them in the freezer. And when you've got enough bananas, enough overripe bananas to make banana bread, you take them out of the freezer, you thaw them out, and you make banana bread. So let's get at it here. So ingredients, what do you need to make this thing? You need 2 eggs, a cup of sugar, half a cup of oil, 3 bananas, 3, I would say like medium bananas, like if they're really small, maybe 4. If they're really big, maybe 2.5, right? You have to play around with this recipe to get a sense of how it works. Of course, if you got too much banana, it's not the end of the world. You just need to cook it a little bit longer, that sort of thing. I'll talk about that more as we go along here. So 3 bananas, a teaspoon of salt, 1.5 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder. And because we like the things, and bananas are a tropical food, so we like the banana bread to have a tropical flavor. These are optional, but we like it this way. We put a teaspoon of cinnamon and a teaspoon of allspice. Okay, so that's how we do it. Let's get started here. So I'm going to start with the dry ingredients. All right, so we got flour here, 1.5 cups of flour. Oh, and turn the oven on. Oven set to 360. Okay. Oven set to 360. Okay, so we're going to put 1.5 cups of flour in here. There we go. And our baking soda. Double check your ingredients. I like to put everything on this side, and when it's been gone in, I put it on this side. That way you don't put stuff in twice. You put too much baking soda in something, it's going to taste very bitter. And you don't put enough, of course, it won't rise properly. Okay, so there's a teaspoon of each of those things. Now, also the salt. Teaspoon of salt. Allspice. This might seem like a lot to you, so don't use that much. All right, you can use half a teaspoon of allspice or none. You don't need the allspice, you don't need the cinnamon, but we like it that way. You do what you like. Okay, so that's all of that. Now we got to mix that together. I like to use a fork for this. It works like a whisk, but it's stiffer and stronger than a whisk. So the reason you mix your dry first, then your wet ingredients, and you combine them. And the usefulness of having the cinnamon or the allspice is that when the flour is all one color, then you know that you've properly mixed in the baking soda and the baking powder. And it's most likely that you've worked out any lumps or anything like that that are in the flour. You notice that I didn't run the flour, I didn't sift the flour the way you're often told to in home economics class or whatever. And maybe it just depends on the type of flour you buy or how you store it or how often you use your flour. But I buy these big bags, 20 kilogram bags of flour, and we make homemade bread. We bake a lot, and I just don't find I ever need to sift it. But it's a good thing to do. Sure, sift your flour. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying I think it's an unnecessary step most of the time. All right, our dries all set. Now let's do our wet. So we'll start with the bananas here. When they're like this, when they've gotten super ripe, or even if they go into the freezer like this, they're gonna come out looking like this, okay? Anyway, they're practically like a liquid. I think my wife might use scissors to cut the tops off of these, but they're pour right out of the skins, right? So, yeah, it's a pretty easy operation. And another reason to freeze them is that it just makes them nice and soft and you know, easy to work with for something like this. So with the fork, I'll give these a quick mash. Another reason to use a fork, just such a good all-purpose tool. A little mash and a little whip. That's probably good right there. How about I bring the camera in and show you? All right, so you can see how that's just nice and sort of mashed up, okay? All right, now we need our eggs. 1, 2, just medium egg, not a small egg, not an extra large egg. If you use an extra large egg, it's just going to take a little longer for it to cook, that's all. That's our eggs. We'll stab the yolks and mix that in. All right, we got that. Now we got the sugar. Cup of sugar. There we go. Mix that in. Now people are always asking me about low sugar, low calorie, da 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 da. This is how I make it. This is going to taste really good. This is not health food. So if you're trying to lose weight and get healthy, don't eat banana bread or eat very little banana bread. This is cake. This is cake with bananas in it, okay? It's not healthy. It's tasty. It's a dessert or maybe a snack like a muffin. You ever look at the calorie count on muffins? They're like 400 calories, right? So not a health food. Okay, so we got our sugar. Now we need our oil, half a cup of oil. Some recipes call for butter. And this recipe, you can get away with using margarine or butter for this, but oil works too. Oil's cheaper, so that's what I use. Okay, we got our oil, and that's it. That's all of our wet. We got the bananas, we got the oil, we got the sugar, we got the eggs. Now I'm just going to mix that until until it's uniform, right? Like when I started mixing, I could see the bananas as separate from the sugar, as separate from the oil. I'm just mixing this till I see it's all combined, which is where we are right now. Okay. Now we're going to add our dry. All right, mix that all in. Swirl that around. See how great the fork is for this? I really get a kick out of all the different cooking tools people have in their kitchens. I mean, I have a lot of tools in my kitchen, of course, but for some things, the fork is amazing. Like for some cake recipes, you need to beat all kinds of air into the dough or into the batter, that sort of thing, and you need to use an electric mixer, that sort of thing, and you can do that for this if you want to. But most of the work is being done by the eggs and the baking powder and the baking soda in terms of lifting this up, right? So as long as you've got it mixed, that's all the work you need to do. Okay, so that's done. This is a quick thing you do after work, after supper, with your old bananas. Now, pan. You've got all kinds of options for pans for this banana bread. You can use a bundt pan like this. That makes a nice one. You can use a wide loaf pan, a standard loaf pan, or a 9x9 pan. All of these are going to have different cooking times, okay? And I'm always changing and messing around with my pan, so I never know exactly what the right cooking time is. I'm going to suggest one, but basically when you take it out, you test it and see what you're dealing with. I like this pan. This pan is about 12 inches long and about 3.5, maybe, let's see. So this is 13, okay, this is 13 inches long. And at the base, yeah, it's 3.5 inches at the base and about 4.5 at the top. It's a long, narrow pan. I find I really like the way this one makes loaves of bread and banana bread. The narrowness, it seems to cook nice. So I like this. But use whatever you got and just adjust your cooking times. Whatever pan you use, it's going to take 5 minutes more or 5 minutes less, that sort of thing. Now, there's lots of ways to do this. Of course, if you have a non-stick pan, you don't need to grease it up like I'm doing right now. But this is just a Old-fashioned steel pan. Made in Canada, believe it or not, back when things were made in Canada. You can get these things at yard sales. These things will last forever. And then if you really, I mean, what I just did is fine, but if you want to take an extra step, this is handy. So just take some wax paper or parchment paper, just drape it over the bottom of the pan, right? And just roughly, this does not have to be perfect. Cut to size. All right. Now I'm just going to put this right in the bottom of the pan. So notice I haven't completely covered the inside of the pan. It's just the bottom of the pan. Now the loaf will come out just fine if you don't do this, but if you do this, it will absolutely guaranteed flawlessly every single time, you know, it'll always pop out nice and easy. So it only took a second, right? That's fine. And yeah, some people only use parchment, but you can use parchment or wax paper. They're both not going to catch on fire or anything like that. Okay, so this is all ready, and my oven is all heated. So I'm doing this backwards here to where I normally would, but for me, you want to, if I was doing this not on camera, I would have greased the pan before I did anything. I just forgot to do it. When I'm filming, I'm always disoriented when I'm filming. But for me, as soon as you have this mixed up, you put it instantly into the pan. You don't let it sit in the bowl after you mix it. Because once you've got that all mixed, once you combine your dry with your wet, the chemical reaction is starting to create bubbles. And all those bubbles give it a lift. So you don't want to be agitating or messing with the, with the mix once that starts happening. You want everything happening in the pan. So now I just put this in the oven. My directions here say for 50 minutes. So that's what I'm going to put it in. Oh, one more step, yes. So you don't have to do this. This is like maybe not weekday banana bread, but weekend banana bread, this extra mile. Put some sugar in your hand like this and just sprinkle it around the top. Okay, that sugar, you don't need a lot. This is probably less than half a teaspoon's worth of sugar I'm adding here. All you're doing is a kind of nice caramelized finish to the top. See, I'm putting most of I put about a teaspoon in my hand, I'm putting most of it back, okay? When someone bites into this, the crust is going to be a little crispy and it's going to have a little extra sweetness to it. You don't have to do this. It's just a nice thing to do. All right, so we're going in the oven now for 50 minutes, 50. Middle rack at 360. We'll see you in 50 minutes. Okay, so it's been 50 minutes. Let's check the loaf and see how it is. All right, so to me this looks done. We're going to check it right now. You just get a toothpick or a skewer or anything, stick it right in the middle. And if it comes out clean, as it has, then you've cooked it. If it comes out with wet wet batter on it, then it needs another 2 minutes, another 5 minutes, that sort of thing. You can see how it's got these cracks along the top. You want to see that. And around the edge you can see it's, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it's come away from the side of the pan a little bit, and it's slightly brown around the edges. It's a nice warm brown along the top and has a kind of hollow feeling to the top. But that's what it should look like when you take it out of the oven. Something like that. So for me, if it comes out wet, just give it another 5 minutes and then check it again. And as soon as it comes out dry, it's done. Actually, looking at this, I might have could have taken it out a couple minutes earlier. You never know how long these things take because of the size of the eggs might be a bit big, or you might have a little bit more banana, right? Because eggs are water, bananas are water, right? So these are the two variables that you just can't account for in a recipe, right? Because eggs are different sizes and bananas are different sizes. So this could have come out maybe 2 or 3 minutes earlier, but it's all fine. Now, your instinct is to dig into this and get some out and eat it, but this will come out of the pan a lot better if you wait a little while. At this stage of its cooking, the loaf is still very, very soft, and you want it to firm up a bit so it comes out of the pan without breaking, especially if you didn't use the wax paper like I had. So I recommend waiting at least half an hour. I see how I got it on a rack so air can get underneath it. I wait at least half an hour, but ideally wait an hour before you take it out and try to eat it. Personally, I prefer to eat banana bread when it's cold. I like taking it out of the fridge, put a little butter onto it, that sort of thing. But anyway, we'll give this a try in about an hour and see how it tastes, all right? So we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so it's been a good hour. Let's pop this thing out of the pan and see what we're working with here. So should just come right out. It does. You know, if it doesn't come right out, then you just, slide the knife around it. In this case, the wax paper stayed in the bottom of the pan. Usually when you pop it out, it stays attached to the bottom. You just peel it off and it comes right off. Anyway, so we got a perfect loaf of banana bread. Let's give her a try here. All right, so the classic East Coast approach here is, this is still a bit warm. Again, I like it sort of cold out of the fridge personally. But anyway, we'll slice off a piece here. So you can see I'll just get another piece here. See the texture, right? It's perfectly cooked, good color. It's soft on the inside, but this top crust here, because that little bit of sugar we put, got a little bit of a crunch to that, not too much, just a slight crunch to get the nice contrast of textures. And it's a kind of a super extra sweet crust, and it's still sweet on the inside. All right, so the classic East Coast way to do this, again, this is not health food, is you put a little butter onto it. That's how we say it here. And give her a try. Oh my goodness. Just one of life's simple pleasures. Banana bread made from old bananas. You don't want fresh, perfect bananas. You want old bananas for banana bread. Anyways, that's how I make banana bread. Give this recipe a try. See how it works for you. The cooking time, 50 minutes. Might take a little less, might take a little more. Really depends on your pan and exactly how much moisture was in the mix when you cooked it. So just test it out with a little needle. If there's batter on the needle, you need to give it 5 more minutes, that sort of thing. Just keep playing around until you get it right. If you found this interesting, if you did, please like, share, subscribe. And until next time, have fun in your garden, have fun in your kitchen. Thanks for watching.